I could have got red eye.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Hi.
I'm not sure how many people in this chat. Oh, yeah, this won't be the most professional of our streams. It looks like we've got 6 people on our chat and 5 likes currently. So, does anyone have any questions before we get into the nuts and bolts of it all?
Hi, Lambs. Hi, Nick. Thanks for joining.
Hope you like my green screen over here as well.
Hi, Sheena. I'm
Hey,
Rick.
Hey, Sheena.
We won't tell you off for being a minute late. It's all right. We'll allow that minute.
Yeah, apologies about the mess behind us. I'm not sure how to do these live things, so it's all a bit of a start for us.
Bit new to it all, aren't we?
Yeah, we're very much novices, but from this, be able to sort of
You curtains? No, that's the green screen. I wouldn't have green curtains. Come on.
Yeah, from this, we'll be able to suss out what problems are with it. So it's more of a, answer your questions, everyone in this chat, then find out what. When we then review it later, we can say, okay, this looked bad, this looked bad. We're very critical, especially me.
I was going to say, Nick, no, they're definitely not my curtains. It's okay. I have a bit more taste than that.
Yeah.
Power couple. Well, we're trying. Yeah. Working on the muscles. I am technically stronger than him currently because he can't squat or bench anything. So anything I can do is better.
We had a pretty good workout today, didn't we? We had
family workout.
Yes, I got Sophie to do some like pre-exhaust exercises. So that means, if anyone doesn't know, you're not using a heavy weight. It's basically warm-ups, but you're trying to
like
isolate a muscle group without really giving it much welly. I wanted to see them arm wrestle. All right, well, you feel free to donate to my lovely small humble YouTube channel. We might do that live on air.
Well, let me win though.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a donate button at the bottom. So it says show your support for competition consultant and add a super chat or add a super sticker.
It's like a dollar note kind of icon.
Yeah, it's on my one. I can see it. Found it. Thanks for sharing. Oh. Who's asking that?
That crazy.
We've got my phone down here as well because we're not sure if it's going to mess up, because I know most people that do live streams have issues with the actual stream itself and what the commentary is.
Yeah, I think they've had before where they then can't see anything. So if we're looking down, we're just looking at the phone, checking that it's still in sync.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Merry Griffmas to the rest of you.
Oh, we should have put that on a card, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I think Carl.
Next year.
That's my brother, by the way, Carl.
We'll do it next year. We'll do a family Christmas card. So, Jonathan, what is your current dietary split in terms of grams, protein and fat per day, approximately? Do you vary this on training days? Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Alicia. Hi, Rick. Hi, Lambs. Hi, Alicia again. You can tell I'm a novice still this. Protein grams are somewhere around 200 at the moment. Fat has usually been around 300, but recently I found that a bit much, as in I've been getting fatter as a result of it. Because I've been inactive, not training much, I've needed to reduce that. Today my fat's been something like 160, 170 grams, maybe 250 protein. I feel quite good doing a high fat approach, but I don't want to get fat. I mean, I'm not expending that much energy, so what benefit is it going to give me? But there's a time and a place for all these sort of things. So when I can get back into training, probably will go up as a result of my expenditure.
I think before surgery, though, your macros stayed the same whether you were training or not, weren't they? You didn't have to up it for a training day or anything. You found a happy medium where you were fine every day.
Lambs, I don't use PayPal because of the issues I've had with it in the past. Basically, they blocked my account, so I can no longer go on it ever again. That's linked to my cards in every sense. The best way to put money across is through a link through Google Pay, and that's easy to set up. There's a donate button at the bottom of the screen as well. So that'll be something like send thanks to YouTube creator, something like that. That'll be like probably $. If you've got a Google account of any kind, that will also be possible. So yeah, roughly, Tracy, sorry, roughly 250 protein and 160 fat. That was just today. I mean, I'd usually add butter to every meal, so I'm usually be about 50-50 in terms of
ratios,
grams.
yeah.
Grams, yeah.
I think we've just reduced one, haven't we? I think I'm 180 protein, and I'm now about 125 to 150 fat, kind of just depending on my mood, really. And I don't change it for training days. It's all the same. We just tweaked it because I was having like a little like weight plateau, wasn't I? And I was getting quite frustrated, so we just kind of changed the macros a bit.
I think what we've noticed as well, Sophie and myself, our metabolisms are quite adaptive. If we feed our bodies a lot of energy, we will expend a lot of energy. If we don't feed it much, we won't expend much. We're two people that can't diet ourselves to a pulp. The protein definitely has to be at a certain grammage to retain and improve muscle mass, and the fat just has to scale up or down based on that. People do the high fat thing at the moment. I've made a few videos on this already. Check those out if you guys haven't already. Just go into my channel, type in composition consultant, macros, ratios, anything like that. High fat, you'll get a few videos related to that, and it should be useful to most of you.
Have a good day, Alicia, at work.
Have a good one, Alicia.
Thanks for tuning in.
Try not to make any more of those terrible videos.
It's so harsh, isn't it? Let's hope you're not matching again. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Yeah, far away. We're primed and ready. I understand this isn't a Bart K live chat. We've got roughly 400 or 500 people on it. We're looking at something like 7 people live at the moment, so that's why there's a bit of a lag in terms of our questions.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I'm not.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. Nice to meet you. Haven't seen you on here before.
A newbie. Welcome.
Welcome.
To the crazy lot.
But my spine. My spine is right. I'm a bit. If I sit down for too long, I get numb legs. If I lie down for too long, I get a numb hip. If I stand for too long, I get tired. So I'm always between those three. I can't sit upright for very long, at least not a steep incline. This is probably about my comfortable position. So I'm currently sat on a pillow thing, a cushion. I'm leaning back quite a bit, but you'll see throughout this sort of video, I'll move around a lot and I'll be jittery. The pain is different though. So what I'd usually experience is nerve pain shooting up and down my back and probably just to my glutes. Nowadays, it's not that sort of pain. So I do have 2 deep incisions into my spine, into the muscles surrounding my spine. My muscles were split apart completely. So I can't extend that way very well at all. Like I'm just about lean forward while holding myself.
Tracy's had a question.
Yeah,
That'll be for you. You're the brains there.
Yeah, so Tracy's someone that can't tolerate a lot of saturated fat because of certain reasons. That's individual to her. Seeds, perhaps not. I mean, if you are going to use any seeds, perhaps grind them up. If you can, get them organic. I'll probably ditch chia seeds completely altogether. Flax and sunflower seed, perhaps not that bad if you have them ground into a flour sort of thing. You might get some nutrition from it in terms of energy, but if that's all you can eat, it's a substance food. It's not gonna really improve your health in that regard.
But if this live chat goes well, we can do maybe like a regular thing, can't we? If it goes well.
Oh, Andrew is on here by the looks of it. Hi, Andrew. How's it going? Yeah, Nick's got a question.
Calves and quads are insane, Jonathan. How many total sets do you do for quads, hams, and calves?
Currently, today I did 4 sets total for quads. 20 reps.
I think pre-surgery.
Pre-surgery, yeah. Let's get to pre-surgery. Yeah, so we're looking at something like a leg workout would be roughly 16 to 20 sets. 20 be on the very high end, and that would be usually when I'm trying to use volume to my advantage rather than maximize intensity. So in that case, I'll be doing something where it's more isolation, less heavy loading. But it might be a day where my hips are bad, my lower back's bad, so therefore I have to eke out more out of more exercises with more volume in that regard.
Mhm.
But ideally, yeah, we're probably doing somewhere around 16 sets. And if anyone watching this, don't listen to me and think I
must
need to
do
do
it.
I need to do 16 sets.
Mm.
I don't work that way. Any of my clients, some of them are probably on here right now. Actually, they are actually. They'll tell you a completely different workout from one person to the next person.
Yeah.
It'll be similar, but their recovery, their days per week of training,
Mhm.
meals, everything will be different. So there is that regard as well.
The weather in the UK is rubbish. It's cold and it's raining. So it's miserable. And yes, Lam, the green screen is supposed to be behind us, but we haven't actually figured out how to use it on the live chat. So it's just there.
I think I know how we're using the StreamYards thing, but I'm not an expert at that yet. What I want to do with this live chat is just see who turns up,
see how it goes.
See how it goes. This is more of like a pilot test. People are going to be people are going to probably watch this and think, "Oh, it's not very good." But it's a pilot test.
Yeah,
it is a pilot test.
You're all our guinea pigs.
Mm.
You always had big calves, or did you have to build them up? And if so, what works best?
Yeah, so my dad has insanely good calves and biceps. Myself and my brother have good biceps and good calves. It's mostly genetic, but I will say I train calves harder than anyone else I have seen in the gym. And that's bar none. I'm probably the only person that trains them regularly and hard. And I probably do something like, usually, most times, one exercise might be 3 to 4 sets. Depends what intensity level I'm using. Again, like I said earlier, if I'm doing maybe 90% intensity, it might be close to 4 sets. If it's all out, to failure, negatives, rest pause, it'll be maybe 2 sets. I can eke out a lot of growth out of that. What works best for you? Yeah, I mean, I like a bent knee calf press on a machine, like a leg press, and I do like a almost straight legged calf press. I think if you can shorten the muscle as much as possible, you're going to get a lot of results from that first, then do the stretchy stuff. Generally speaking, your soleus will have more endurance and staying power than your gastrocnemius. So perhaps scale your repetition ranges around that as well, if you can.
I just do them off a door frame, holding a weight, because I don't have a fancy machine in my gym.
Any stretching or other exercises that may help sciatic issues? I'm in my own experience, I didn't find any relief from it. I'd find temporary relief from doing anything, which is like grabbing a door handle or a rail, then like stretching my lower back out. Other than that, me give it a minute, the pain goes back straight away. I am someone that did dedicate an immense amount of time, months and months and months, probably half an hour a day, stretching religiously every morning. I'm talking proper stretching, not like light stretching.
Yeah.
And that didn't make a difference to my back pain at all.
No.
So I'm a bit skeptical. It does depend on your diagnosis. So if you had a back scan and you see XYZ is wrong, if it was what I had was wrong, it's going to be beneficial to be flexible and not tighten the muscles. But if you're in pain all the time, you're not going to relieve it by doing some stretching. I don't personally think. There are different therapies you can use, different modalities, but it's trial and error. So I couldn't really prescribe anything particularly to you as an individual without knowing everything about you, seeing a scan, and making judgment through that.
I mean, I had sciatica during my pregnancies, and it was just, I just had to find a position that was comfortable to sit or lay. There was nothing, I couldn't like stretch it out. It was just kind of find something that was comfortable and go with it.
Yeah.
So what's a good length for show competition?
6 to 20 weeks. I prefer people to do somewhere lesser than that. It depends where you're coming from and where you're trying to go. If you are an overweight bodybuilder, so for example, you've got 30, 40 pounds of excess body fat to lose, you'll be looking at a longer period of time to do that. It might be close to 20 weeks. What I prefer people to do, my clients, is to be in a lean state prior to that. It depends what competition you're doing as well. If you're a bodybuilder versus a bikini athlete, your goals will be different and your level of leanness will be different. So, for example, myself, I'm someone that can stay lean year round. I like to start my competition prep on the highest possible energy intake that I can. And from there, scale the energy intake down gradually as time goes on, making the smallest amount of changes, but getting the most amount of benefit and results in terms of fat loss and muscle retention. I think for yourself, Andrew, someone that knows you, I work with you, You're probably looking at something like 12 to 14 weeks from your current point, maybe 12 to 16, maybe. Obviously, I'd need more data as time goes on, which we'll get. Then from there, we can then make that judgment and that call and say, okay, we're going to do X, Y, Z competition in X period of time.
Yeah. Hi, David. Well, good, Nick, that it's working. So keep it up.
Hi, David.
I suppose.
You all right?
Yes, Gina, definitely don't sit for too long. Try and keep moving if you can.
Yeah, Nick also said about the training of the calves twice per week. So with the calf training, you can do a lot of it. If you've ever seen Ben Pakulski, the bodybuilder, his calves are ridiculous. And he said, admittedly by his own confession, is that he could get a lot of growth just by training them all the time. Anytime you can train them, train them. All I will say is make sure you maximize your technique and your form when you're training. That doesn't mean doing the first few reps good, then the last few reps just sack it off. Every rep needs to be perfect or as close to that as possible. You're maximizing the tension through the stretch position. I highly recommend people to contract the tibialis muscle on the front of their shin at the descent, the eccentric portion of the repetition. That will mean that you're not springing out of the rep at the bottom, so then your muscle fiber activation will be significantly higher. So that's something to think about as well. Obviously, go right to your tiptoes hard as you can.
Nick,
safely.
You are on it with questions today. This is like your fourth. We should be charging you for a consultation.
No, Nick, for anyone that doesn't know, Carney donated
he did
£8.99 pence yesterday to my fine, small, humble YouTube channel. And that's greatly appreciated. So I'm happy to answer any of his questions. What's your thoughts on a consolidation training phase? Do you believe in it, Pretsit? So what he's referring to here is when you train, say a bodybuilder, and you're trying to almost go through your off season, you're at your peak strength. He's basically saying you're at your peak strength, peak muscularity, your biggest you can be. At what point would you switch it then to a cut or change your training to eke out a different result? I like people to maintain that for as long as possible. If you're using performance enhancing drugs, that can expedite that time. If you're someone that's a natural physique trainer, I'd suggest people do something between 2 and 3 months of consolidating that training stimulus. So if you're doing, I don't know, 2 sets of 8 with 100 kilos, whatever the exercise is, do that or try and eke out more for the next 2 to 3 months. Do that whilst auto-regulating your training. So that means that you are not trying to overtrain at any given point. If your joints hurt, you'll train exercises, change exercises, and you'll try to benefit from the least amount of stress to your joints. So think about things in a longevity sense. It all has to be evolved around how you're going to maximize your results and minimize your suffering.
Yeah, that's what we don't like people to suffer.
No, don't like suffering.
No,
not that kind of suffering.
Hi, Zbigniew. Thanks for joining. Oh, look, we look good together, apparently.
Oh, yeah. She's out angling me. I'll give her an angle. Right, what are we talking about here? Better late than ever. Rick's. Oh. Zbignew's here. That's good. Brilliant. I'm glad he made it.
Yeah, he didn't think he could, did he?
For anyone that doesn't know, Zbigniew travels between 2 countries all the time, it seems. I think maybe on the weekend or something. And he can't join us today, and he's probably at his parents' house, or he has his partner, his wife with him, maybe driving the car. I don't know, but cheers for joining us. I appreciate that.
Don't get told off being on your phone, though. I know I do when I go to my parents' house.
All right.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Fire them away.
We'll have to commit to some rambling in a minute if this carries on.
No, not with your rambling. That person might comment.
Yeah, he might come strike me down. So Nick said, I've definitely benefited from training hams first in my leg workout. Seems to have alleviated the knee trouble I was getting recently. So thanks for that tip, Jonathan. Yeah. Most of my clients will be doing hamstrings prior to any other lift they'll be doing if they have equipment to do it. And when I say doing the hamstrings, I don't mean doing the stiff-legged deadlift first, because the weight that you have to use in order to get enough tension from that and maximize your muscular retention from that will be significantly higher. I like people to isolate muscles first, generally speaking, if they are bodybuilding. Get the muscle nice and short. Then that will also, in a lot of cases, alleviate any potential pain that you might get from using, say, a heavy leg extension first or a heavy squat first. You end up using more weight, not shortening your muscle maximally, then getting injured. So it seems to be across the board. If you speak to most pro bodybuilders, they will say the same thing as me.
Yeah.
I mentioned only used for fiber. Okay. What does she mean by that? Tracy.
Can we scroll back up to her previous question?
Yeah.
I'm not very good at technology, guys. You do have to bear with. Where is she? She doesn't want grains.
No fiber. I think she's concerned about. This is personal to Tracy, so I probably won't go on air about it. There's not really a need for fiber in terms of the foods that you are consuming and how it's going to alleviate problems in your blood. You could do that through the diet that we've mentioned before, at least to my experience, to my knowledge. For any sort of more detailed analysis, looks at blood markers, speak to someone like Bart Kay. He is much more advanced in that regard than me. He has stuff. I have studied human pathophysiology and human regulation. He is much more expert than I am. So I'd speak to him perhaps about it. My information is limited on that. So, if I don't know, I'll say I don't know. I'm not one of those people that try and make up an answer just to sound clever.
No sound.
No sound.
I mean, nothing's been touched.
No. Rick, I was probably she's probably on her phone. She clicked on button.
Ah.
Wow,
Thanks,
Nathan.
Nathan. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Nathan said, and he delivered. Remember when Nathan said, when you get monetized, Jonathan, we'll throw you a few super chats your way. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Nathan. That means a lot. Brilliant. Merry Christmas to you as well.
Love your podcast with Bart. Yeah.
That one aired yesterday, didn't it?
It did. I do like your chats with him. I do quite like them. I mean, I don't understand half the stuff they're on about, but they are very interesting.
Yeah, of course, Tracy. I don't lie to people. I don't make things up. No. I'm an expert in body composition, managing that. I have a few ideas about health just because I've spoken to hundreds of people, if not probably 1,000 or so people over my time, in terms of managing a health food shop, consulting with clients. I've spoken to a lot of people about health, so I've got a rough idea what does and doesn't work. But there are people in your situation where you'll have to just admit, I don't know the answer. There will be someone out there who is much more expert than me.
And I think that shows what you're like as a person, because anyone can kind of blag their way through, but then you're not going to be giving out very good information if you're just kind of blagging it and making it up. And you don't, you like to give truthful, honest stuff. And if you've said to a couple of your clients, I don't know this, I'll research or I'll try and find out, but I don't really know this kind of area. So
yeah.
Thanks for joining back, Crazy.
Yeah, appreciate you coming by and stopping by to spend your time here. I hope you can join the next ones when we do these in future, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Glad the sound came back, Sheena.
Maybe. There we go. Nick's back here again. It's almost like I gave him these
back
questions.
At it, Nick.
Tell us about the process of consultation from the get-go and subsequent communications.
Oh, we do actually have a video on that.
We do have a video on that. It's called Why Choose Me?
Yes.
Composition Consultant.
I think I asked the question.
Yeah, so I think he just wants me to talk a bit more about coaching. So
I'll let you do this one.
Yeah, so usually, I believe you'll find below, I hope, my website link, compositionconsultant.com. One word, no funny stuff in it.
Yeah, no capitals.
Keep it simple. I don't know if you can put capitals in a website, can you?
I have no idea whether it makes a difference.
I don't know. Anyway, so I mean, you book it in. Coaching is now £60 per month. That is 28 calendar days.
Yeah.
That is the set amount now. I've had to increase the price because the demand has gone up exponentially. It's a captive audience. You have to charge more. There has been a 10 to 11% increase in inflation in this country right now. So I have food bills to pay and I eat a lot of food. So that's what that pays for. Other than that, I do offer an option which is £54 per month. That is people that subscribe and save. So you effectively save £6 per month, roughly $8, and that will mean that you can.
It's like a rolling.
It's a rolling contract
until you cancel it.
I've set that currently at 4 months. So I can obviously, if you want to finish after 3 months, I can obviously issue a refund, but it is a 4-month contract. I don't have any clients so far that are disappointed in my services. Everyone's happy. Some clients don't need to come back because I've taught them what they need to know. They think, brilliant, you've set me up with a good plan here, and I can work out what I need to do from there.
Which I think is good. And just to add to you can do the refund. You have to cancel it before your next month starts. If you've kind of cancelled it and you're already into your next 28 days, you don't then get the refund.
Yeah. So another point as well is what you'll get when you submit the payment is you'll get a
form sent to you.
That'll be through Google Docs. The way I do things is through Google Docs. It seems to be the most widespread used platform for sharing information.
It's been really, really useful, isn't it?
And you'll get your own folder, which is unique to you. It'll just be me and you that have access to it. You can input files into there, folders, pictures, blood work, whatever you want. Whatever you think is relevant in there. Some people also might do progress photos in there. They'll say, this is me before, this is me 4 weeks later. You'll get a separate sheet which will say it's a bunch of different metrics which you fill out and say, sleep 8 out of 10, all these different things, digestion, energy. Then at the bottom is a bit which says other info. So that's if you just want to do check in once a week, just one after the other, just a 4-week spread, and you just put the information in. If after that point you think, I've got this issue here, so I'm having an allergic reaction. I'm at a gathering, a functional event. I need to. I don't know. I need to change what I need to do. I need something needs to change here. Or you have an accident with your diet, you overeat. Feed this information back to me. Use the other parts of the form. Or if it is urgent, I have clients that sometimes submit. I'm struggling with this. I need help now. I'll usually get back to you very quickly. Most cases, it's a few minutes. If I'm asleep, it might be a bit longer. So you're looking at very good communication between myself and you as the client. I do go above and beyond for my clients.
We do ask for a lot of information in the forms that he sends out. The more information you put on there, the better the plan he can do, or I can do when I'm learning it. If you don't put much on there, you're not going to get much back because we don't know anything to be able to tailor it specifically for you. So it's kind of what you put in is what you get out, which, to be fair, I think is quite fair.
And people also ask about the time zone thing as well. So I've got clients in Australia, New Zealand, Poland, where else? Israel, US, Canada, probably a few other places all over the shop. I think I have another client in Hong Kong Singapore. Singapore. I get back to everyone near enough within an hour or two. That's the latest. Less them asleep, of course, but I'm very attentive and I do listen to my clients. The more information they give me, the better I can help them. But I think that answers the questions.
I think so.
Consultation. The consultation thing as well. What I prefer people to do is usually they'll email me, say, hi, I'm looking to send up a consultation. Would you recommend 20 minutes or 40 minutes? They're both reasonably priced. Then ideally you'd then email me or send a message. I'm very contactable. All my socials are on my website. I'm very contactable. So you just say, hey, I want to talk about weight loss, fat loss. I want to build some muscle, I want to get bigger arms. I want, how can you help me do that? I'll then say, okay, I'll talk to you about that in the consultation. Then I'll set up a plan for you, or give you some feedback, and we'll work from there.
We do ask that you have your questions written down, just so that you get the full 40 minutes and it's not kind of like wasted. And I think if you get like a little bit of a backstory before your consultation, it saves you like that 10-20 minutes at the start having to explain yourself in order to get the answer.
Let's give the paying man his answer, Nathan.
Your thoughts on time static contractions?
You like those static contractions, I can tell, because you've asked me this question. I think you asked Bart as well. Nothing wrong with that at all. So I'm guessing he means you'll be doing, say, 10 repetitions of a chest press. Then at some point you'll then think, okay, I'm going to hold it at the bottom for 5 seconds or 3 seconds. I think it can be useful, but in EMG data, they find that your muscle fibers won't necessarily, say you're working chest, the muscle fibers initially, when you first do it, the first few seconds, firing on all cylinders, they're ready to go, they're working, they're burning off. As time goes on, say 5 seconds later, you will then notice that the tension will shift to your shoulders. It's just one example, but it might be your biceps if you're doing back. It'll then shift your shoulders, then shift your biceps and triceps and your elbows. Then effectively you sort of end up spoiling the point of it. So then you spoil the point of doing the workout. I think it's useful. And if you were to do static contractions, I would suggest, to be honest, in the way I'd apply it for most people is to do it at the end of a body part. So you're doing 2 exercises for chest, you might do the last set of the last exercise with a static contraction. Just a static hold in the mid-range, perhaps in the slightly lengthened range might be okay. That seems to be it. It's very subjective because the studies we have on exercise physiology in terms of the brogue science anecdotes, and that's just what I personally think.
I don't think we've done a video on my program, have we actually?
No, Sophie and I did a video a long time ago, must be long, 2.5 months ago, when we discussed
a long time ago.
her progress so far.
I think
Sophie and I are doing an update video. Her 6-month mark will be around the 5th of January in coming year.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to do a video about that, like, the changed. We discussed it briefly in this video, but we will go into it a bit more.
We could do a live Q&A like this update of 6 months. We can do that, or if you prefer just a standard video, you can do that and then get your questions in, and I can answer them. You'll have to put a notice of the questions because I'm not as good as this stuff as Jonathan.
You're right. What are we looking at?
So HIIT training, do you think it's a better way to build?
Yes, but I think if you're training hard, I mean, one of my clients we spoke today, I won't, personal is confidential. They train hard. They cannot eke another rep out. The problem wasn't so much with the effort that she's putting in, but it was the way she was applying that effort. So what I suggested to them is that they change a few things. So the cadence was slower on the eccentric phase, the lowering phase, so the shoulder press. Slightly more explosive concentric phase, and at the bottom, so the bottom of the shoulder press, when you're going down, it's slow at the bottom, the very bit. Imagine you got like a little cushion there, it's just padding. So you go, effectively, if you're doing shoulder press going down, you go the bottom bit. And I think there is a benefit to be had from reducing the speed, especially the bottom, and it is a lot safer, and your joints will thank you for it. And I think, thanks very much, Jonathan. Thanks very much, Sophie.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Sheena, for not wrecking me to pieces.
Favorite carnivore influencer and why? I mean, mine's going to be a quicker answer. I don't really know many. I'm still learning everybody.
That's a good question. Don't want to upset anyone. I really like Bart K. I like his delivery. I like the way he explains himself. I like how concise he is and how well thought out his responses are to idiots on the internet. My second favorite, or perhaps equally first favorite, is Harris Panos. No one really, I mean, to watch a long format video like his is difficult, understandable. I'm someone that can listen to anything for hours about whatever topic. And he does think of things in a wholesome, holistic form. So he'll say, let's get back to touring, shall we? So touring is good in this effect, how it'll affect these other things, right? Physique goals, your health goals will be this. He does link it all together very well.
He does explain himself really well. So I don't understand all the terminology that like Harry and Bart and even yourself use, but both of them do explain it very well. He spoke in a way that I would understand. I think he probably realized I'm not on the same wavelength as Jonathan. I don't use the terminology. And instead of trying to sound techie and just get it wrong. But no, I do love those two. Obviously, Pim, I have to say Jonathan.
We have to mention Pim.
Yeah.
Our online community. She is a expert, and it does seem to help, but she's very honest. If you puts good information out, it's very thoughtful.
Yeah. And again, it's Harry, but I think they're quite easy to listen to. If you've got the time, just stick it in your headphones.
Apologies about, I don't know if we're still live or what's going on. It keeps saying connection unstable, so that's beyond our
it's not us.
Beyond us repairing what is going on. We can't. Yeah,
is
thank
specific.
as well. If this goes across, thank you, Sheena, for yeah. So Sheena, so the hit training is probably better. I mean, I like people to at least train very hard, intensely. People that I have perhaps one client which doesn't train to failure. That's a very limited example. I don't want them training to a point where they can't recover from it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And the same, I train to kind of a couple of reps from failure because it's just me and then one other child in the gym. I have nobody else around to help me if I get stuck under the bar, or I drop it on myself because I've trained to failure that I can't get out of situations, because you do kind of say it depends on the situation and you have to think safe.
Yeah, thanks Tracy. She's TM on YouTube.
I can't hear anything now.
If you can hear us, please can you just type something?
Anything.
Like why or yes, anything. Otherwise, just leave us rambling.
I mean, at least Nick said that they can't hear you, and
it keeps hanging. We'll wait a second. Yeah. Is the signal quite okay now, or we're not sure? We can't get. If I'm back at my house, it's a bit better, about tenfold. So we wouldn't be having these issues if I was. Yeah, if you can hear us, okay, I'll be able to hear the answer.
Yeah, and obviously we don't want you guys hanging on here if you can't really hear us. Bloody technology.
So I'll try and answer this if you can hear any of this. It's just all blurry on the screen at this point.
Oh, we could be.
We'll get to the big news question if it stays quite solid.
What if I went onto it on the phone? Is it going to mess it up to see what we look like?
Yeah, I can try it now.
Yeah. Oh. We're just checking the phone to see if we can see.
Okay. It seems okay on my phone anyway.
Can you still hear? Is it still breaking up?
One thing I will say is the quality of my camera is significantly better than your video.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with me. This is a 1080p legit camera that is crystal clear on our side. So we'll answer Big Nev's question anyway, because he's probably tired of us muscle group training. Essentially, he's asking, should we do a bro split, which is maybe Monday chest, Tuesday back, Wednesday rest, Thursday legs, versus doing perhaps push-pull legs sort of workout? I find that it's very... Someone more advanced might do a more of a muscle group split. It's still breaking up. I'll just carry on anyway. They might hear something. I prefer quite a mixed split, as in push-pull legs for most people. Well, for some people, most people I'm training are currently doing upper-lower split. Other from leg workouts are much better than men. I have a theory that it's because they are the inborn effect of being a male is that you can activate more muscle fibers. That is a fact. By default, recover better from it. So yeah, I mean, or a few more advanced, maybe like myself, maybe push-pull legs. More advanced than me, a professional bodybuilder might be a bro split. So they've gained all the muscle size they need, but they're trying to eke out a bit more from, say, the chest or the shoulders or whatever muscle groups. They might then do chest one day, back one day. Yeah. So it's not many people will fit into that dome. It's probably the top 10% of people in terms of muscle size that bodybuilder would be doing that. Which female influencer? I don't know. I've got a few friends on this, haven't I? So I probably don't want to upset anyone. Who do I get along with nowadays? No one. I like Alicia's. Her carnivore journey content. 2 current videos, but they're good videos for a beginner, definitely. Annabelle Smithston. I like her stuff. I haven't had anything for a while. Sorry, Nick. We got to try. We've still got 10 people in the chat. Control. Yeah, I mean, favorite female influencer. I don't really watch many people, do I? As someone that makes YouTube videos, I'll tell you now, I don't watch many of other people's YouTube videos. I love Harry's and Bart's stuff. I don't watch all of their stuff, sadly, because I don't have time to. I would if I could.
Oh, Tracy can hear.
Yeah, Tracy can hear.
Yeah. Hopefully Zavigny have heard because you answered his question.
If not, I can just I can leave him a voice note on WhatsApp or something or whatever. Yeah, it's no problem. Which female influence do you like?
I don't know many. I do like I occasionally watch how do I pronounce her surname? Dr. Sarah
Zaldivar, yeah.
Zaldivar. I do like some of her stuff. I do watch, whatever I can on kind of Instagram. I don't really have to. I just don't watch much. With the kids trying to watch anything is just near on impossible anyway because they chat over it.
My problem I have with listening to a lot of YouTubers, and this means anyone of any topic, any industry whatsoever, is that I prefer to listen to people that are very direct, speak clearly, and are somewhat monotone. I can't listen to people that do this all the time.
Yeah.
That drives me nuts. It distracts me.
Good job, Nick.
There we go.
Yeah, I think it's when they change their pitch and it's like really, really high and then really, it can get a bit tricky to listen to.
Yeah. I tried to make content understandable, so I've worked very hard to sort of get my words per minute to a certain speed. By default, that sometimes means that I am hard.
Yeah, you won't understand it.
Too fast. You won't understand it.
Yeah.
So you can't please everyone.
I'm still new to the carnivore community as well. I mean, you talk about people, and I'm like, wait, which one's that one again? It's a different one because I'm still kind of learning everybody. So
chances are, if I spoke about them, they'd been my channel.
Probably, yeah. Although we're still trying to get Harry on, aren't we? It's very busy boy.
Well, we need a good 12-hour block to get that one out.
Especially if touring
comes into it, yeah. Definitely.
And somebody will ask that question. I will ask that question just to know a bit more about touring.
Yeah. Right.
I'm guessing, can everyone still hear us? Or is it kind of gone again? Because it keeps saying to us that connection's a bit unstable.
What are your favourite condiments with meat? Good question. Yeah, so if everyone can hear us, or anyone can, just say yes. Just
ramble for nothing. I mean, I think most can. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay, so in regards to Nathan's question, what are your favourite condiments with meat? So I used to have a lot of pepper. Nowadays, I don't really bother using pepper. It's somewhere in the mid to back area of the shelf in the cupboard. I barely use it nowadays. Yeah. I might use it sometimes, but not really. Redmond's real salt I quite like. I've got quite a taste for that nowadays.
Yeah.
I'll use some sugar-free barbecue sauces. Now, I've been criticised heavily about having these foods in my diet. Please bear in mind my blood glucose is near enough perfect all the time. I'm someone that has achieved a lot with their health status, considering how much I had wrong with me prior to starting this diet. For me, I'm happy with the results I'm getting.
Yeah, it works.
Obviously, as someone is in this carnivore community online, we are biohacking essentially. We're trying to maximize our results, minimizing the damage that we could do to our body. And what I find is that I can have sugar-free sweeteners and it's not a problem. Now, am I addicted to them? Probably not. I mean, I've been a week where I just had beef, eggs, and fish.
Yeah.
Butter. Nothing else. Anything.
No.
I didn't care much for it. That same week, I just drank black coffee, no sweeteners, nothing. It didn't bother me at all. So I can come and go from things as and when I please. I don't have an addictive personality.
Yeah, you're quite good like that. Actually, you can just kind of cut it completely, and you're not bothered. We have found like a sugar-free sweet onion, haven't we? Which is quite a nice one. And then I think we only got it because the second ingredient was butter. So we thought, you know what, tiny bit, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we only have a tiny bit anyway, don't we?
I'm using around 10 grams of sugar-free sweetener, all sorts. It's not a lot. And usually it's like slathered over it just to give it a
Taurine does virtually everything. The kids have it.
near enough all over your body, even in your eyes. So if you're deficient in it, you will suffer for it, and your body will pay your nasty fine back for it. It's my mum. That's my mum. My mum, you're right.
Bit frizzy. Yes, the butter bites are amazing. It's taken you this long to make them, has it, Nick?
Yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know, we created the original butter bite recipe that we like. We might have a few more subscribers and they'll think, oh, we'll get on that and say it's mine.
And say, give credit where the word butter for you. I think I can't really taste it. It's butter. I think they're really good.
It tastes like
it's creamy fudge, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can play around with the flavors.
Yeah, he's addicted.
Making them for weeks now. I think they're addictive. Sorry about that.
And is the cakes that Sophie's been making are quite addictive. I do think about the fancy one now.
We need to make some.
The butter bites, I have one of those. Yes, it is more energy per butter bite, per grammage, per size. But I do notice that I can't eat more than 2 of them.
No, I think 100 grams of it is kind of your limit, isn't it?
Yeah, about 100 grams max. Add on to a meal. So you have your beef and eggs in the morning.
It's a nice little dessert.
Like a little thing. A lot of people struggle to get enough energy in at times, so it can be quite a useful sort of component to add to the diet. And at one point, I was doing something like 300 grams of butter a day from butter bites and butter.
Yeah, it is a great way to get a bit of butter in without having to because it can get boring.
And I recommend butter a lot to people that are transitioning to a carnivore diet. So with your gut, as your microbiome changes when you transition into a carnivore diet, you require more and more short chain fatty acids, as you won't be able to acquire that from the fiber that you're taking in, because a carnivore diet doesn't have any fiber. You can get those short chain fatty acids directly from butter. Even if you cook it, melt it, they are still there. The boiling point is so high you never reach anyway. So yeah, it's definitely a feasible method to sort of improve your transition as you go into a carnivore diet. Definitely a good dessert.
Yeah,
potentially addictive. They're more for someone nutrition, energy to their diet without really, sort of eating
basically a stick of butter. Yeah. Have you got a fancy mold though, Nick? That's the question. Perfect dessert. Do you think we should tell him about the cakes that we've made?
Go on. Do
you think we should share that recipe at some point?
Yeah, butyric acid. Yeah, that's what it's called. There's just touching the butyric acid point. There's other digestive diseases, serious issues, proper bad gut health. They found that butyric acid is beneficial. There's a few ways you can go about getting that. That is through dairy fat. Dairy fat is butter. Yeah, so you're looking at that sort of thing. The other way you can get it is through supplements. However, those supplements are extremely expensive, and to get the amount that you need would be
ridiculous.
You're paying something like £30 or 35 American dollars per month to get that amount of butter. It's even maybe take.
Got the donut mods. Good job.
Tell them about the cakes, everyone.
If you're addicted to the butter bites, they're very simple. What is it? Egg yolks, butter melted, baking powder. We add protein powder to it and sugar-free syrup just because we have a sweeter tooth. The kids love them. Again, we cook them in the donut molds because who doesn't like the look of a donut? And then we ice them with protein powder paste, like made into. We use protein powder and water. I mean, you could use milk if you have milk, and then put that on top. I tend to do it more in a pot for dipping, don't I? Because I think if you put it on top and if you're not eating it straight away, it can get a bit of a sticky mess, and I don't want the kids covered in it. So you absolutely love them, don't you?
Yeah, I quite.
Tilly loves them. Maddie loves them. I love them.
Definitely a great transitional food. I mean, because if you feed your gut bacteria non-sugary things, it's going to crave and thrive on things that aren't sugary.
Yeah.
part of the side of addiction, sugar addiction, is based on your gut microbiome.
Mm.
So if you're having these, sorry, we'll go in a bit, I think.
I mean, I started from before Carnivore. I was quite a high sugar diet, they say, and I used to, want it all the time, and I'd be thinking, well, when can I next have this sugar or that sugar? Whereas now, I don't really think about it as much. I mean, I still get moments where I could fancy a bit of that, but it's not on my mind as much as it used to be. They're not too good to be true, Nick. They are absolutely delicious. I think we're going to make some tomorrow. Might share the picture on socials. You never know. Try and get Christmassy with it.
Yeah, we're going to the gym tomorrow morning, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know yet, my mind goes everywhere. We've got a video coming up. Imagine it'll be in the new year at some point.
Yeah.
It's trying to maximize your muscular tension when you're performing an exercise for a given body part. Those sort of things are priceless. People don't use them. They think, I'm using a machine, therefore I don't have to do these.
Yeah.
I think a lot of cases people do because they don't know how to work a muscle group or to activate certain muscle groups.
Yeah.
So it does apply to everyone. It is useful to everyone.
I know we're filming another video for it tomorrow, aren't we? Do the oldest.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen and heard from people that have been on the carnivore diet for a long period of time, is not many of them do all these fancy things with mince and eggs. Is what the majority of people will be falling into in terms of.
And I think we've got the time to try out these different recipes. Adapt an egg so it's not just an egg and it's not boring.
As well. So I started my business up in 2019. I've only really hit the ground running the last few months, roughly. Yeah. And I spend a majority part of my day thinking about or working on my YouTube or working with my clients, my coaching clients in particular. And I found that although I do enjoy it, I am working around the clock and all the time. So this is my only source of income. YouTube gives you a small pittance for these videos. And to see that people that, not to big myself up so much, but just the fact that you have this information, you can share it to people an affordable amount, and it works.
And you can see, I think, you see it kind of, you do my training plan, my diet plan, from the last, 5.5 months, nearly 6 months, the progress I've made in that time, I'm sure you see it more than me. And that's all down to you.
Yeah.
I know I lost the weight before you, but I didn't build muscle in that year. I just lost the weight. I didn't build any muscle. Whereas now, building the muscle, losing fat, and that is all down to you.
Yeah. Thanks. I mean, look at the. I don't take compliments very well.
I know you don't.
So if you look at the thumbnail for this video, look at Sophie's biceps. To me, she's not got a good amount of muscle in her. Her arm workouts
That's my weaker
aren't even.
one.
It's not even. She doesn't even do that strong of an arm workout.
I don't have much.
Imagine what the rest of the muscles like. Her thighs are like that.
I just need to tone them a bit more so you can see the muscle.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is my weaker one in the picture, because unfortunately we tried to recreate his logo. Is on the side that Jonathan's on, which would have been my stronger side. So.
Yeah. Cheers, Big Nev, and cheers. I think we email mostly or Instagram. Can't remember.
Yeah, I can put my Instagram in the.
You'll start.
I'm not very good at this stuff. Learning it.
It is hard to know what to put in these things because you're thinking, okay, I've got a title. You got to fit it across the page so it's clear to. 90% of my viewers are on mobile phones.
It's got to catch your attention.
Got to catch your attention, be bright.
Yeah, but not too bright because that's too much.
Brand specific. Try to be highlight the guests. For example, if I was to have, you're gonna have a picture of me like that big,
tiny
picture of him,
huge
across the whole screen.
Yeah, because it's
pay the same with my guests, and I say, what video would you like on?
Yeah,
what you're on our thumbnail?
It's all for you. So yeah. You choose your
maybe in the new year. We've been talking about that now for 3 months. Tracy, do you mean the thumbnails, like the pictures to advertise video?
It's working at the
All
minute.
I can say is my click-through rates are generally very good. People do tend to click my videos.
Yeah.
The retention time is usually quite good depending on the quality of the video.
Mm-hmm.
And the like to view ratio is always excellent.
Yeah.
And that's down to my subscribers who take the time to hit like. Many of them probably don't even watch the video, but they like my channel.
Yeah.
They like who
Or
I
they
am.
catch up with.
I mean, I don't watch many things live nowadays because of my bedtime schedule and things like that. But,
it is getting to your bedtime, I must say.
It is a bit, yeah.
Guys have been here for an hour, so I feel like we should probably wrap up soon. Bless them.
Yeah, we've been fortunate enough to have at least 10 people on this live chat.
Done about 5 questions. So Nick, make sure you come to every single one, okay?
Yeah, Nick's solid. Yeah. Yeah. Cheers, Nick. For Christmas anyway, I'm sure. It'd be nice to have a little chat at some point. I look at my calendar, you know, there are open dates there. I'm not uncontactable.
Yeah.
You just have to pick a time that suits you.
Remember the time zones.
Time zones. So please remember.
Yeah.
It is, generally speaking, they're in half an hour blocks. Minus 10 minutes, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Andrea, we'll be in contact soon, I'm sure.
Mm.
And it's 2:30 p.m. in Dallas, Texas. Oh, lovely. It's too hot for me. I like the cold.
No, you do, don't you?
I'm like a snowman. All right. Right. So thank you everyone for coming on. Appreciate you all sort of spending your time to be here. It does mean a lot.
It does.
Thank you to Nathan, Zbigniew, Andrea, Rick at one point,
Sheena. Yeah.
Everyone. Back Crazy Game Clips, Nomad Man.
Sing it, Nick. Sing it.
I remember that when I was a child. I used to enjoy that movie.
Well, thank you so much. We will goodbye now and leave you guys to the rest of your day / evening.
Yeah, take